Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Giggles and Glutes. I'm Zoe.
And I am Donaé, and today we are diving into a topic that so many women are curious about. And this is, how does dairy actually affect us, and why fiber might be one of the most powerful things on your plate.
We want to give you real balanced info today, not scare tactics or food rules. This is about understanding, as always, and giving your body what it needs in able to function and work at its best.
So let's start with dairy. For some women, dairy can cause issues like bloating, skin breakouts, or even hormone disruptions. And for others, it's completely fine.
Exactly. Well, like I said before, we're not here to say, cut it out forever, don't use it ever again, it's bad for you. The key is knowing how dairy affects you individually and personally. That's something that we always preach on the channel, that everything is not going to be the same for everybody. So it's just about knowing how this is going to work for your body specifically.
And with that being said, here's what's actually going on. So dairy contains a natural sugar called lactose. And in order for us to digest it, we need an enzyme that's called lactase. And many adults don't produce enough lactase, which leads to the symptoms of bloating, cramping, or gas after consuming milk or soft cheese. I know that I'm guilty of this.
Yes. And there's also the hormonal side. Dairy contains hormones from cows that can, in some people, affect their estrogen levels or trigger breakouts. And I'm definitely the side of the breakouts. Like some women with acne, e.g. me, or irregular cycles, e.g. you, notice real improvement when they actually cut dairy out. And I drink lactose-free milk because I know that it just does not work with my body. But I can't stay away from cheese. I just can't stay away from cheese. That's what gets me every time. And then afterwards I'll be like, oh, my stomach, I can't move.
Because imagine having a burger with no cheese. A burger is not something you eat every day. So when you do eat it, you want to have a burger, like double up the cheese. Yes, please,
Yeah.
So then we suffer after.
And I always say to Andy when he makes me a cheese sandwich, I always say, I want two slices of cheese.
It's so bad for ourselves, honestly. We are the hazard. Okay, but on a serious note, let's talk about the other side, because dairy also has a lot of benefits as much as it has downsides. And it's actually a great source of calcium. As we know, this is the one thing that all of us got raised in. It's good for your bones. It's also got benefits of protein in it. It's got phosphorus, vitamin B12, and often vitamin D if fortified.
Yeah, that's true. And for women especially, calcium is so important for bone health because we are all prone to osteoporosis, especially as we approach our 30s and beyond. And dairy is one of the most efficient ways to get a good amount of calcium in one serving.
Also, fermented dairy like Greek yogurt and kefir contains probiotics which support your gut health and your digestion. So that's a massive benefit. And there's obviously some people that actually feel better when they include these into their diet regularly.
Yeah, so basically, if your body tolerates dairy well, then it's absolutely a must to include in a healthy, balanced diet. There can only be benefits from it if your body tolerates it.
Understanding the fact of whether you produce enough lactase to actually break down the lactose. So if you like dairy and you don't want to cut it out completely, but you sometimes do get symptoms, there actually is some smart ways on how you can manage this, because we like cheese. So we definitely want to manage it somehow.
Hacks.
Yes, and hacks. We love for those.
Okay, so here's what can help. Stick to fermented dairy products like yogurt and kefir. These are easier to digest. Try hard cheese like Parmesan or aged cheddar. They're lower in lactose, which is not mine, but these are things that could help for a workaround. You could switch to Parmesan on your burger, Donaé. And then avoid pairing dairy products like with high sugar foods. This can spike your insulin and then worsen skin issues. That's a tip for myself. And then you could also use a lactase enzyme supplement if you're sensitive but still want the occasional ice cream or cheese plate or whatever your favorite go-to dairy snack is.
Ice cream is also on the top of the list for me. I'm obsessed with ice cream. I love ice cream. But like most importantly, and we cannot stress this enough, is listen to your body. Track how you feel after different types of dairy. I know it seems like a lot of PT, but you need to pay attention to what you are putting into your body and how your body is responding to those specific foods in order to understand what exactly you can add more of into your diet and what your body is telling you like, no, thank you, we don't actually want this, because it is rejecting it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and before we shift into our next topic on fiber, I want to remind you guys that if you like this episode, please give us a like and share this with your family, friends, and your other girlfriends. Yeah, let's get back into it. Okay, so shifting gears into fiber. If dairy is something to approach mindfully, fiber is definitely something most of us need more of. For some, dairy is going to be something to avoid, but for all of us, fiber is a must.
And fiber plays such a crucial role for women because it supports our digestion and, most importantly, our hormone balance, mood, and our blood sugar regulation. And I think for women, anything that supports the balance of your hormones is so important because there's so much happening in our bodies just day to day. So yeah.
And there are two types of fiber. So we get soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber is basically found in things like your oats, your chia, your beans, and it helps slow digestion and stabilize your blood sugar levels. And then the insoluble fiber is found in things like your whole grains, your veggies, your nuts. And this adds a bulky feeling and keeps you full for longer.
Fiber also helps your body to get rid of extra or excess estrogen, which is important for keeping PMS symptoms like bloating and acne in check, because this happens to most of us where we bloat during our period or PMS and we actually have a breakout. So fiber will help you to balance that extra estrogen, which is causing all of those things.
Yeah. And most women need about 25 grams of fiber in a day, but we are probably getting way less than that amount. Like I said to you in the last episode, I know that I'm specifically struggling to eat enough fiber. That's one of the things that I have to manage, and that's one of the things I have to be conscious about because I just don't seem to get enough fiber in my diet.
And sometimes when you have this realization, it can be a bit discouraging because you're like, oh my word, I'm not doing enough for my body. But there is a way around it. If you want to increase your fiber, for example, you could gradually start drinking lots and lots of water just to help your system adjust. And then there's other few things that we can add into your day-to-day as well. For example, you can add chia seeds into your oats, your yogurt, or even just in water to activate them. By the way, if you want to activate your chia seeds, put them in water. They swell and they look really pretty. But they're also easier to digest that way because they're active. You could also add flax seeds into your smoothies or your oats or yogurt as well. And then you could snack on things like almonds, veggie sticks, hummus. And if you don't have hummus, you could just maybe eat chickpeas on its own as a little snack out of the can. You could also add lentils, quinoa, and chickpeas to your salad or to your soups as well. And then this one is actually very interesting because it's something that a lot of us actually dispose of, is the skin on your vegetables. I know obviously we get rid of it because it grows from the ground and we want to just get rid of all the bacteria as possible. But if you clean your veggies properly, like give them a good wash, you could keep the skin on your carrots, for example, or even your potatoes, because they actually do add extra fiber and very important nutrients to your diet as well. And even if there's like you don't clean completely, like scrubbing it or whatever, when you cook it, a lot of those bacteria die, but the bacteria is also good for your body because it builds a strong immune system also at the end of the day. Like, you ate sand as a child, you know? Like, it's okay to have a little bit of dirt on your potato, you know?
I have 2 tips. One you touched on earlier, the one is when you are having chia, put 5 to 10 spoons in a jar, add some water to that, keep that in your fridge. That way you can always just add some chia to your oats, or if you're heading to work, you can just add some, or you can take the whole jar with you and then add some at work. Then you always have your chia with you already activated. And then the second thing that I wanted to say is I eat my kiwi with the skin. I've done it for a year. The skin on a kiwi contain. I told you I struggle to get my fiber in, and this is the exact reason why I do that. Because the skin on the kiwi has so much fiber inside. I'm not exactly sure. Let me just check the amount quickly. I'll tell you now. And kiwi is also high in fiber just in general. So you'll always find kiwis in my fridge. So 100 gram kiwi has 3 grams of fiber. Kiwi is one of the fruits that is highly nutritious and a very good source of fiber.
Oh, wow. I actually didn't know that. It's also a very difficult fruit to peel, to be honest. So the fact that you can actually eat the skin makes life so much easier. So much easier.
It's so yummy. I don't know. And he thinks, I'm like, you eat the skin of the apple. He's like, yeah, but that's different. I'm like, no, it's just because you've never done it before, or that it's not normal. It's not seen as normal, so now you don't want to do it. But I think don't not try this with the skin of the banana, hey? I don't think it's going to be the same.
Definitely not. I feel like we should be like, if the skin is hard or the texture doesn't seem as if your body can digest it, please don't now go and try and eat the skin. I'm sure there's other benefits to the skin of a banana. Like, I don't know if you've seen this guy that just went viral on Instagram, Ashton Hall or whatever I think his name is. Anyway, his Instagram just blew up, but part of his morning routine is actually taking the banana peel and then rubbing it on his face. But prior to that, I also saw another lady. She has a channel where she tells you like how all these fruits and stuff benefit your skin, and rubbing them on it. And the banana was actually one of them. So there's use for your banana peel. Don't eat it, but you can rub it on your face.
Okay. And here's a bonus. High fiber meals tend to keep you feeling fuller for longer, which is what we all want because we don't want a crazy insulin spike. It supports stable energy and it reduces the feeling of craving later in the day.
So, whether you're thinking about cutting back on dairy or increasing your fiber, or you're just curious about how foods affect your mood and your energy, it all starts with being aware. Again, being aware of your body and what it's saying to you.
Yeah, you might get annoyed with us, but we're going to say this again. There's no one size fits all for everything and for every answer and for everyone. We are all going to respond to things differently. The key is in finding out what works best for your body. Like we said earlier, some women thrive without dairy and others feel strong and nourished with it, and like it's a vital part of the nutrition of their diet. It's about finding your balance.
And we always say that it's not about the restriction, it's about the connection. Connecting to what your body is asking for and making small, sustainable, I repeat, small, sustainable choices.
Yeah, that one hit home because sustainability is really what it's about. If you can just gradually make small changes in your lifestyle, in the way you eat, in the way you train, in the way you sleep, you will see amazing overall results. But small, sustainable changes is how you get there. Anyway, before I ramble on, we hope this gave you some clarity and confidence in navigating your nutrition, whether you're Team Cheese like us or Team Chia. We're actually Team Chia as well.
We are both.
We support you.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Giggles and Glutes. If this episode helped you, share it with a friend who needed to know what was happening with dairy because they had so many questions on why they are bloating or they have this random breakout.
Or they fart.
Tag us, or that. Also, don't forget to tag us and leave a comment in the comment section below and like on this video.
And we'll see you next time with more conversations, keeping it real and help you feel good and support your strength from the inside out. Bye. Till next time.